Alright, so this pick says it all, doesn't it, man? Anyways, I'm glad to be here with y'all again for my second to final episode of this crazy series recap. I really appreciate y'all's support throughout these playoffs for the past 2 months. And I hope y'all are able to tolerate no music for now. After my final episode series recap, I'm going to be back to doing the music in the background type shit. But anyways, before I get started on this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Do whatever the hell you want. I'm still not even close to 50 subscribers. I'm literally like 15 away from doing that. But hey, man, let's get this shit started. So this series is tied at 2. All right. Let me go through the last 2 games, which starting with Game 3. So Game 3, the Suns, well, they didn't play well, but it was more of what Milwaukee did, and Milwaukee played really well. All right. Giannis had 41-13. Drew Holiday had 21, 5 and 9. Like everybody stepped up and hit big shots when need be. Middleton wasn't all that great in game 3. He only had 18 points, but guys like Bobby Portis stepped up. He was a major energy guy. And, this whole Buck team just played well, and they adjusted to the schemes of the Phoenix Suns. Now, one thing I did notice is that they attack a lot more when these two things happen. They put Giannis at the 5, and when they get Ayton into foul trouble. That's when they really start to pick up the pace and go into attack mode like that. They're more aggressive, they're more in tune, and with Giannis at the 5, it basically killed every other team. Like, I remember in the Brooklyn Nets series when they put Giannis at the 5, it basically neutralized everything that the Nets were trying to do. Now, of course, KD was still KD, but when it came to the other guys like Joe Harris and all those guys, they basically shut them down. You feel me? And they basically made him make a tough decision for, Chris Paul's former Houston teammate James Harden to come back. But the lineup with Giannis at center is lethal. But Aiden played well in the first half of Game 3. Other than that, he's been MIA. 1, because of the foul trouble. And 2, well, he just didn't play well in Game 4. Now, Game 3, Chris Paul played all right. He started heating up when it was too little too late. Devin Booker only had 10 points, and he only played 29 minutes. And I personally thought it was a really bad call to sit Devin Booker for long stretches of the game, especially when, you needed him. But I can understand the thought process of Monty Williams because Devin Booker was having an off night, and they were going to lose this game anyway. So why not save him for Game 4? So that aspect I understood. But in Game 3, when the Suns were making their comeback down 15, Monty Williams subbed out Chris Paul, from what I remember. And he put Cameron Payne in. Now, Cameron Payne, he gave my Lakers a lot of problems. And he gave Denver a lot of problems. And he gave, obviously, the Clippers a lot of problems in Game 2, where they won off of the where they won it off of the DeAndre Ayton poster on Big Zoo. As much as I love Cameron Payne, that was a bad call by Monty Williams to sit Chris Paul as soon as they trimmed the lead to 4, because the Bucks decided to hit the switch, and Drew Holiday in the third quarter just rose up and hit 3 consecutive threes in a row. So overall, this Buck team, man, just played well. I think they played a great basketball game. Now, Game 4 is different. The Bucks didn't play all that well. They played really lousy, but at the same time, so did Phoenix. Everyone outside of Devin Booker only had under 20 points. DeAndre Ayton, as much of a rebounding machine he was in Game 4, he only had 17 rebounds, bro. Or he did have 17 rebounds. What am I saying? He had 6 points, bro. You ain't gonna win if your second best player, or at least the guy who's considered the second best player, because that's what Phoenix was thinking when they drafted him in 2018 as the number 1 overall pick. When he's your second best player, you ain't gonna win with him dropping 6 points. Jake Crowder played well the last 2 games, and they still lost. And here's an interesting statistic. Every time Jay Crowder scores 10 or more points, the team wins. Damn, Milwaukee is putting 2 L's on that right now. But nah, seriously though, Jay Crowder played well in game 4. He was hitting his threes. He missed a couple free throws. But overall, he was locking down. He was playing defense. I mean, he did everything he could with his role. Devin Booker played phenomenal. All right, it's just the foul trouble killed his momentum, and it killed the Suns' momentum as well. And bro, Chris Paul, man, I love CP3. I've always been a fan of him. I think he's a Hall of Famer, regardless of what happens in this series. This series doesn't really take away from the Hall of Fame career he's had. Sure, he's had some bad playoff moments. I will make a video explaining the whole Chris Paul is a choker narrative and my thoughts on it. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that, especially by people who don't like CP3. But, bro, Chris Paul, you got to play better, bro. I was watching the game. You turned the ball over in two critical possessions, bro. And I'm glad you owned up to it. I'm really happy that you owned up to it because that shows that leaders acknowledge that they made those mistakes. But the fact that you played very tentative and the fact that you turned the ball over in the most critical times of the game, especially when Devin Booker's out, it's just unacceptable. Now, credit to my man Drew Holiday. You know, y'all know how much I mess with Drew Holiday. As a Laker fan, I wanted him and I wanted the Miami Heat to get him because I think he paired really, really well with Jimmy Butler. You know, they have that grit and grind backcourt with Drew Holiday and Jimmy Butler. That would have been something to see. But Drew Holiday, man, that's my guy. He was playing the Patrick Beverly role, man. Because y'all know how Patrick Beverly is basically Mr. 94 feet. That shit was Drew Holiday at night, bro. Or in game 4. And I gotta give Drew Holiday credit for that. But I think Skip and Shannon, it was Shannon that made the point that somebody else has to bring the ball up the floor if they're gonna press Chris Paul like that. And they're gonna press Devin Booker like that. I'll take my chances with Crowder and Bridges because they can take players off the dribble too. And they can initiate offense and they can give the ball back to Chris Paul so that way he doesn't waste his energy. And I think that's what the Bucks did. They wore down Chris Paul so that way when it comes crunch time, he starts making those mistakes. And I don't think that's because Chris Paul choked. Well, he definitely choked this game. But it's more of what the Bucks did, in my opinion, and with a mixture of Chris Paul selling the game. So, Chris Paul, regardless, he has to play better. You got to play better, my guy. If you want this title so badly, you simply have to play better. You cannot have this type of game because game 5, bro, whoever wins game 5 is going to win the series. So far, only one team has won game 5 and still managed to lose the series, and that team is named the Dallas Mavericks. And I already covered them in The Clippers Deserve My Respect for Now video. Y'all can check that out. I'm not even going to reiterate that. Y'all basically know what I'm saying. But, nah, man. If you're Phoenix, you win this game. Alright? You win this game, and you make sure you close them out in Milwaukee. Now, it's going to be tough. These next 2 games are going to be tough. And it's going to determine on which team lives up to the pressure the most. And so far, it looks like Giannis and the Bucks are living up to that pressure. But we all know, Phoenix is a dangerous team at home, bro. Phoenix is a dangerous team. And if I'm the Bucks, dude, close this damn series out. If you can get these 2 wins, get these 2 wins. Because here's the thing. You lose game 5, you're not going to... You cannot rely on a game 7 to bail y'all out so that way you can win the chip. Don't rely on game 7. Rather, win the next 2 games. Right? And I was talking about it with my friends, and one of them said that, oh, even if they lose game 5, they'll be fine with it. And I'm just like, nah, bro. This is the NBA Finals. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. It worked in the Brooklyn series because it was Kevin Durant by himself with a one-legged James Harden and no Kyrie. It ain't gonna work here. So you close this out. And if you win game 5, you got to get into a mindset that, yo, man, we have a chance to clinch the finals. We don't want to come back here and play game 7 knowing that we had one more win and to secure the chip on our home court. If you're the Bucks, you got to get into that mindset. Win the next 2 games. There ain't going to be no game 7. All right? And I think the Bucks are well aware of that. But I'm sure the Suns are well aware that if they lose game 5 at home, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, it's gonna be a tough order to win in that building, man. It's gonna be a tough order to win that building. The only team that was able to do it was the Atlanta Hawks in game 1. But anyways, bro, going back to game 4. While the Bucks played a lousy basketball game, the Suns played a solid enough game for 40 minutes. And then the last 8 minutes, they fumbled. They fumbled this one. And yes, like I said, those Devin Booker fouls, that cost them the game too, along with the other mental mistakes. Obviously, I discussed Chris Paul. Cam Johnson has not been hitting his shots that well. The missed free throws too. I mean, for 40 minutes, the Suns actually played decent enough basketball to solid enough basketball. And they sold the game within the last 8 minutes. All right. But credit to Milwaukee, they grinded this one out. They knew it was going to be a tough task because they knew Phoenix was going to come out and play with a sense of urgency. So credit to Milwaukee. And credit to Chris Middleton too, because that kid is, bro, that dude is different at home than he is on the road. On the road, he's alright. He's like a Marcus Morris on the road, but at home, man, that kid is due to turn it into Kobe, R.I.P. Kobe, Gigi, and the rest of those passengers. He might turn into freaking D Wade in his home court, bro. The way he's playing. But yeah, the Bucks, they played very well at home. But the Suns, let's take into account that both these teams are pretty good on the road. Obviously, we saw what Milwaukee did in that game 7 versus Brooklyn. They took the 2 games in Miami and obviously took 2 critical games in Atlanta. So Milwaukee has become a slightly better road team as opposed to previous years. And then the Suns have been consistently winning games on the road, with the only 2 losses being in LA to both my Lakers and the Clippers. Alright? But anyways, man, can we talk about the rest of game 4? Now, I didn't see the whole game with like all the egregious fouls. But I saw one play at my workplace, dog. Because they play the NBA playoffs on TV because we have TVs at my workplace. There was a play where Chris Paul turns the ball over, right? Like I said, they had a breakaway layup. Booker looked like he was trying to intentionally foul Holiday, and the refs swallowed their whistles. Like, what? I'm rooting for the Suns, bro, but it's like, you cannot miss those type of calls. You simply cannot miss those type of calls. Like, come on, man. Everybody knew it was a foul. Hell, even Suns fans knew it was a foul, and they thought Booker should have fouled out that game. Every NBA fan, from the best team in the league to the worst team in the league, knew that was a foul on Devin Booker, and they didn't call it, bro. That's sad. That's really, really sad that they didn't call it. But luckily for the Bucks, Giannis did not give up on the play. He got the putback. And basically, that's where the wheels start to fall off completely once Giannis put that ball back up to make it a 95-94 ball game. Now, that was an egregious call in and of itself. And like I said, you just simply can't miss those type of calls. I know missed calls are bound to happen. It is the playoffs. You got to play through those ticky-tack fouls because sometimes the refs calling that, it's like hit or miss with these refs. You cannot put your trust in the refs to call those fouls. You know they're hit and miss. I get that, but you simply cannot miss those calls, especially in a pivotal and basically in the NBA Finals where every game is a game seven and every game is pivotal. All right, so I'm looking on ArizonaSports.com. And outside that missed call, there's a lot of bad calls in this game. I think I didn't watch this play because again I was working, but there was someone that said that Devin Booker hit the ball off of PJ Tucker's foot, or there was like I don't know what exactly happened, but there was a call where the ball went off PJ Tucker's foot, and the ball was awarded to Milwaukee. All right, but I'm reading off ArizonaSports.com. Four missed calls were either not whistled or missed during that final stretch, according to the NBA's last 2-minute report. And I will link it in the description below so y'all can read it for yourselves. Chris Middleton extends his arms into Mikal Bridges and he dislodges him from his position off ball. So I saw that play and I thought it was a clean chicken wing, like because a lot of NBA players do that. I don't think it was a blatant push off. Okay, 54 seconds left. 101 to 99. Bucks lead. Uh, Suns guard Chris Paul clamps Holiday's right arm, which affected his ability to bring two hands to the ball during the rebound. So basically, Chris Paul should have been called for a loose ball foul or a personal foul, and they didn't call that, and Holiday gets the ball anyway. And then obviously we all saw that Giannis was not fully out of bounds. He still has a foot on the court, and then the play continued because like the Bucks, I guess the mindset that look, Bucks are gonna win this game. We're not gonna call petty calls like that, but it is a 4-point lead with 15 seconds left, so it would help that the refs are consistent with these type of calls, and you cannot miss these type of calls, especially in a scenario in a series where every game is a game seven. 14 seconds left after that ball was inbounded. A trap by Chris Paul and Cam Johnson was quickly whistled as a foul, but I saw that replay and there was no foul. It was just a good trap, and I think he was just forced out of bounds. So, again, I will link that in the description below. The fact that these missed calls happen in a crucial game of the finals is just so mind-blowing and downright unacceptable. And for those of y'all that are going to say, well, the NBA is trying to rig it so the Phoenix Suns can win because LeBron wants his boys to win the chip, please kindly stop watching basketball, because that type of mindset just ruins the entire game. And it's just like you guys don't know how to appreciate champions. Like, come on. Like, people are calling the Suns team frauds. Nah. As a Laker fan, I could say they earned their stripes and they earned their position and they earned their right to be in this finals. Look, I know AD was hurt. I know LeBron didn't play well, but the Suns outplayed us. Okay, we're just not going to gloss over that fact. I'll be making a video, I don't want to say ranting, but talking about the two teams that you're seeing in terms of like the Suns and the Bucks. And if they are frauds, I personally don't believe they are. Every championship counts. But come on, man. Going back to that logic that the NBA is trying to rig it for the Phoenix Suns to win it. First of all, why the hell would they do that if they're a small market team? If anything, the NBA rigs for teams that are in California or New York because they know that's where they make the most coin. All right. So if anything, why the hell would they rig it for small market teams now? And also that Devin Booker is not as big of a name as Giannis. All right. This is Booker's first playoffs, and this is Giannis's, I want to say, fifth, sixth playoffs. I know he entered the league in 2013. Yeah, I want to say fifth or sixth playoffs. So, if anything, Giannis is a bigger name than Devin Booker, obviously. So, it doesn't make sense why the hell they would rig it for a guy who's it's his first time to be in the playoffs. That shit don't make sense, bro. But anyways, yeah. The officiating, let's just be honest, bro. The officiating was bad. Like, there ain't no other way to put it, bro. The officiating was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I think that the NBA needs to replace these damn refs, bro, because they're ruining the game. And not only that, they're gosh, like bad calls, like bad no calls, like no calls are meant to happen in this game because you just gotta play through it, but you can't miss blatantly obvious calls. So I don't know, man. I'm just rambling too much, but hey, if y'all saw that block on Giannis, on that Giannis block on Aiton, bro, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. And, it just shows why he's Defensive Player of the Year, unlike a certain somebody in Utah who let a guy named Terrence Mann cook him for 39 points. Like, come on, man. This is why Giannis and AD are considered the top two defensive players at their position in this league. Because I think Giannis is a power forward just as much as AD is a power forward. So, yeah. So that's enough ranting from me and how I thought the game was poorly officiated and how people are saying or like rooting against the Suns. It's just like, come on, just enjoy some good basketball because these two teams earned their stripes and the injuries that happened to the teams they played against, it wasn't their fault at all. It was not their fault. Like they just took advantage and, teams kept it competitive. They didn't the team didn't make any excuses for that for why they lost, except the Lakers. But I'm not gonna talk about that. But I don't know, man. This series is tied up at 2. Bottom line is the officiating was horrible. Giannis earned his stripes, and I've always loved Giannis, bro. I think he took a big jump these playoffs, and I do believe in CP3 avenging his mistakes in Game 4. And I think Devin Booker, well, he's not going to have a 40. I don't think he'll have a 40-point game in Game 5. But I do trust him enough that he'll have at least 30-some points. And I think Chris Paul will be right behind him leading with 27. Obviously, Jay Crowder has been hitting his shots and he's been playing D. Cameron Payne could get a little bit more clock over Chris Paul at certain points of the game. And on Milwaukee side, they've done a really good job, and they've done a great job. So now, Game 5's up in arms. Whoever wins Game 5 is more than likely to win the series. And that's basically about it. And, yeah. I basically had nothing else to say. This episode was way too delayed because I was going to do it last night, but I came home at freaking 10 o'clock at night and I was way, way too goddamn tired to even make a video. So y'all get the full video right here. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Series Recap. This is a great series, man. Like a lot of NBA fans are underappreciating these two teams. And in my personal opinion, whoever comes out as the champion will be very disrespected because of all the what ifs and all that. Especially the Phoenix Suns. I don't think they deserve any slander because the injuries that happened to other teams was not their fault. It really was not. And same with the Milwaukee Bucks. There were teams that had injuries, like the Brooklyn Nets being the most obvious one. It wasn't their fault too. They just capitalized. So I think both teams are going to get disrespected because of the what ifs. But yeah, these playoffs have been great, man, and these finals have been something else. And I think these finals is just a blessing to the NBA and its fans to appreciate good basketball and not just watch it because it's the big market teams. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Whatever the hell I said at the beginning of the video. That's the end of this video. I'm X. Deuces. Suns and 6. All right, y'all. Peace.